Hello, welcome to American Baker in Germany. I'm Michelle, and today we are making a baby party cake for a friend of mine who's having a little boy. It's meant to look like a pregnancy belly and the breasts with the real dress on, and so I'm really excited about this, so let's get started.
I covered the cake board with silver sparkly paper and covered it in plastic wrap to make it food safe. I had baked 2 layers of 10-inch vanilla cake and 4 layers of 4-inch vanilla cake. I stuck it down with a dollop of buttercream with the 10-inch cake slightly closer to one side of the board and the 4-inch cakes in 2 stacks nearer the other side of the cake. I filled the cakes with Swiss meringue buttercream. The 2 4-inch cakes were different heights, so I trimmed them down to be the same height and carved them into rounded mounds to be the breasts. If you like this kind of cake video, hit that like button and consider subscribing for more. Then I trimmed the belly to be rounded as well. I cleaned up the crumbs off the cake board, but I didn't want to frost the cake before I included another detail. Using some offcuts of the cake, I carved a rough foot shape. I didn't include a lot of detail because I knew not much would be visible through the frosting and fondant anyway. Then I stuck it onto the belly with a dollop of buttercream. Then I crumb coated the cake in Swiss meringue buttercream and chilled it for half an hour to let the buttercream set up. I spent extra time on the baby foot so it wouldn't get lost in the buttercream. While the cake was chilling, I mixed my fondant. I knew I would need more skin-colored fondant than I had, so I mixed a little bit with some ivory fondant that I had. But the color was too ivory and not skin-colored enough, so I added a drop of pink and 2 more drops of ivory. It was the perfect skin tone color. Then I knew I needed a good amount of baby blue fondant to create the dress, but I only had a little bit of light blue. I combined all light blue colors I had and added a good amount of white as well. I thought about darkening it, but I actually felt it was a nice baby blue color. Then I frosted the cake again with more Swiss meringue buttercream. I cleaned up the cake board with a damp rag. I rolled the skin-colored fondant into a wide strip and draped it over the top of the breasts. I smoothed it on with my hands and trimmed off the excess with a sharp knife. Then I rolled out the baby blue fondant. I must admit it would have been easier if I had mixed a bit more baby blue fondant because this was only just enough. I picked it up with my fondant rolling pin and draped it over the cake. I smoothed it on with my fingers and cut a straight cleavage line. I trimmed it flush to the cake on the sides and left a bit extra around the bottom. I mostly wasn't happy with the cleavage line though. I felt it was just a touch low. It needed some detail, so I decided to make some lace out of white fondant. I rolled out a strip of white fondant and cut one edge straight and used some fancy border cutters to create a line and used a round piping tip to add some holes. I stuck it on the cleavage line with edible glue and trimmed it to size. Then I made another strip of fondant lace for the bottom of the dress. To add some detail to the dress, I rolled out some dark blue fondant and cut out some daisies. I used the first one to cover a tear in the fondant. Then I gave the dress a border of daisies along the bottom. Then I decided to put the border along the top of the dress as well. Then I used my clay extruder to make some lines of dark blue fondant to use as a trim. I placed the lines right next to the fondant lace. I love how this cake turned out. It was exactly what I wanted to give to my friend. I think the dress turned out super cute, and how adorable is it to see that baby foot kicking against the belly ready to get out? Congratulations on your little boy, Regina. For more cakes and tutorials, visit our website at americanbakerin germany.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our new videos.